Hey, AfterBuzzers, we are talking episode 2 of The Bold Type. Oh, heck no! So stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Keep my hands to myself.
This is the first time I've ever picked this song.
I'm so glad that you picked this because this scene was steamy. Oh my gosh, this episode was so good.
Something.
This episode was so good. I cannot wait to get into it.
It was something.
I mean, after this episode, I wasn't ready for it to be over. But speaking of that, we should get into this episode. I'm your host, Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Nasta and on Instagram at LAGirl. And we'll start with you, Becca. Where can they find you?
Hi, y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Talks TV, I love it. And you guys can find me, Leslie Ambriz, on Twitter and Instagram at In Less Than No Time.
Hi guys, and I'm Karla Beltran, and you can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K, BEE Travels.
She's gonna make a Twitter soon.
Yeah, we've got to make her a Twitter so you guys can chatter. And make sure you guys follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you know, all of the social medias. And make sure you go to iTunes. There's podcasts you can listen to. It's really fun. And just, you know, talking about social media and Scarlet Magazine and everything, let's get into this episode.
Oh, that transition! Yes.
I mean, Scarlet Magazine, I was actually thinking about how crazy it could be to work for a place where you're constantly talking about sex. I was like, how uncomfortable. What were you guys' thoughts on that this episode?
Just on sex?
Well, just like, okay, so this is their job, right? And usually it's so funny because there's that connotation that like you shouldn't talk about that in the workplace, and it's so funny because this is the complete opposite. We saw that last episode with their like testing out different things for women and all these different items. So I just thought it was so interesting that this whole episode was catered around that, and it's normal. It's just supposed to be
It
talked
even
about.
like opened with that scene of them trying out the new sex position.
That was hysterical.
And then what's her name? The boss. She like walks in. She's like, nah, it's doable.
Yeah, they were like normal. Almost wasn't.
I know a lot about you in like 2 seconds of screen time.
Well, she also walks in and she like treats that situation completely normal.
Right. Yeah. Which I guess it is because they're having to write about it.
Yeah.
Which
Great.
Jane, this whole episode is catered to her having to write this article about how she's never had an orgasm before. And so, it's not about how she hasn't, but it's about how, you know, what it's like. And
it's
she's
like how to achieve your best orgasm.
And she doesn't,
like IDK.
she doesn't know, and she doesn't know how to write it. And I think what was something I think was kind of the theme of this episode was logic, and how logic can get in the way of you really chasing after something that you want. And in Sutton's case, which we'll get into it, was her logic of, you know, she's like, oh, this is the job that I should get rather than the job that she wants. But, you know, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts of, like, Jane overall and this whole writing thing. Because each episode we see her having to struggle and break through getting to her creative abilities.
I think this was a very interesting episode to watch as far as like the writing side of it, because like she obviously felt uncomfortable writing about it, and it's totally understandable because it's not something like everybody just like openly shares, so that's why she asked if she could do it anonymously. But she like kind of said at the end of the speech of last week's episode how she really wanted the magazine was an older sister to her, so in a way she should kind of think of that as like, oh, maybe this is the older sister role that I could play.
What would I want?
And like what would I want to hear if I were in this type of situation. So it was nice that like she had that transition where she was like, okay, you know what, like I'm just gonna be open about it, I'm gonna tell people. And then she like wrote her name like on it instead of being like anonymous. It was like that is so bold, girl. Like you
The
go.
bold type.
Yeah,
Definitely. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that. Like walking out of your workplace knowing everybody knows something so personal about you. I think that was something I was struggling with this episode, is just because I feel like we all kind of can relate to Sutton, Kat, and Jane in our work lives, and kind of just having to break through certain barriers and go through certain challenges. But I was just thinking how much strength that takes in Jane to open that one self up that in work you don't normally have to share. You know? So
and it's too like the one people that don't know you that read that, that's what they, like, let's say that article goes viral.
Right.
That's how they
She's
know
now
you.
known as, like, that girl that, like, can't
Who wrote
have
about that.
orgasm, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Like,
so
that's
crazy.
forever, like, branded onto her.
Yeah.
Which is a
Yeah.
big step. I don't know if maybe we'll see that, like, as a repercussion later on.
I don't know.
Because I could see it even, and this is, do you guys, I don't watch The Bachelor, but I remember there was a key moment where, like, I guess this one character had never, like, had an orgasm before, and, like, everybody made a big deal about it because the guy was like, oh, like, let me take care of that. I don't know, I kind of see Jane getting into a situation, maybe not similar because I don't know the full context of The Bachelor, but, like, get into a situation where now all these guys are going to get kind of seedy and come towards her because of that.
I think the only guy that's
could
supposed
see
to
that.
get or kind of become like that is supposed to be Ryan. The guy that writes it. Because even when he got it, he was like, oh,
that reaction.
Becca is loving Ryan.
Becca loves every man that comes on the screen.
Okay, he's beautiful. He's so pretty.
They are,
like
it's all
him.
good looking
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
I know, it is one of those things. It's like
Kinda
sometimes
ridiculous.
in shows it's frustrating because you're like, there's no way there'd be this many attractive men in one workplace. It just doesn't happen
Let's
like
see
that.
what we all walk in, we're like, dear Lord, please let there be someone attractive. You walk in and you're like, okay, who's gonna cut it? Who is it?
And then you're like,
okay, like
yeah, it's like when you walk into a bar and you're like, okay, well, hey friends. No, I'm kidding. It's not always like that.
That was mostly a joke, guys.
No, but I was really interested on, speaking of Ryan, is that she didn't actually read his work. And so
But
the
she
whole-
pretended.
Yeah, so she pretended, and I was expecting her before she, like, made these drastic decisions to kiss him and everything. I was wanting her to read it and us to kind of get a bigger sense of if he was maybe pertaining more to the girl and the way he words his first maybe couple sentences or to get you into reading the article. So that's something that I've been really wanting from the show, is to know more about, like, this probably that's asking too much, but I want to know more of what their writing style is, and I'm like so intrigued because the whole episode's built up to it that I want more.
What's it about? Let us read it.
Right.
Like, it'd be nice, kind of like even how, like, Sex and the City used to have, like, what was the main character's name?
Carrie.
Duh, I should know that. How Carrie would, like, read off what she was writing.
Right.
I was
It'd be
gonna say
cool
that.
to
That'd
see
be cool.
something implemented like that. Where,
Right.
like, as Jane is typing, we, like,
Even if it's
read
just
her thoughts.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And I understand that's probably asking too much, but I just feel like because we're so, like, that's what you're thinking about the whole episode is what is it going to be like? And you know it's going to be good, but you don't have any taste of what she's actually
was.
thinking.
Yeah.
It could be like the first paragraph even.
Right, just like, or just
Or the
a
last.
sentence.
the first like 2 sentences even, because sometimes when it's a good article or when it's a good script, like sometimes it's just like the first
two that
sentences
draw you in.
you're just like, okay, I have to continue reading
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Or another idea, because I feel like Freeform could do this, is they could put up articles
Right, as like
written
a
by
blog.
the character online on the
cute.
website.
Yeah.
That would be that'd be such a good idea, and then it's kind of like their own little thing.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea, Becca. I just was wanting more of that. I want to know more of what she's thinking. But yeah, the whole logic thing was so funny. And speaking of men in logic, we'll jump over to Sutton and her character, which she was having so much struggle with. You know, she's been an assistant for 3 years. All her friends are growing into different roles, so she's at that spot where she's like,
She wants to grow.
Yeah, she wants to grow. She wants to move past that. And we see her have to talk with Richard about her career path.
I was like, this is awkward.
Do you think that was, I mean, obviously it's kind of struggling right now because we see that. This is another thing, I mean, I'm jumping back and forth, but with the guys, it's kind of hard because if this were to really be happening in a workplace, there's something that, it's like there's some sort of friction, you know what I mean? And I just was hoping that, I don't know. What did you guys think about Richard?
Like it's too easy?
No, but it's like there's friction. Like something could go wrong in this, and it sucks because at first I'm like thinking Richard is a bad guy, but he's not. Actually,
everyone seems to be telling the truth and giving good advice instead of like wanting the worst for people and like being competitive over competitive.
Yeah, and not even. Sorry, I guess I'm not even making sense, but I'm thinking like Richard is like they're like dating, they're like kind of openly dating.
He was the bad guy in the last last episode.
Yeah, but now he seems like
but
a
now
good guy.
he's a good. Yeah, I wonder if maybe
Isn't that a good thing though?
no.
I mean,
He gives
kind
me
of.
mixed vibes. I don't know if I like him.
Not for a drama, I would say. I don't want people to be nice in a drama. I want there to, like the friction.
them
I
to
want
be
there
right.
to
I
be
think-
that tension, that friction that's gonna drive it. But maybe we'll see it in the next episode.
Yeah.
And like throw us off completely, where we're
Right.
like, yeah, Richard,
Yeah.
and the next one we're like, get this fool out of here.
I feel
you
like
know?
he's trying to just like gain Sutton's trust back.
Yeah. I mean, I think he definitely did that, but then she was able to kind of choose, but also when she found out that she did get the job and then she didn't take it, like I wonder if that's where we're gonna see some sort of like
That's what I was
power,
thinking.
like not a
Yeah.
like, but kind of like Richard's gonna like, why are you doing this? Like you need this. So I don't know. I mean,
well, it looks like Richard might be kicked to the curb. She was celebrating with somebody else at the end there.
I don't.
I know. I was like, she moves on fast.
No, but I
Question
think that's
mark?
just a friend. Like
Really?
I think that's like strictly platonic.
I want a love triangle. Dang it.
Me too.
I don't think we're gonna get. I don't know. So far, I'm getting vibes of the show. It's like it's each one's kind of standalone-ish almost, because we didn't even. Wasn't there some sort of love interest last episode with Jane that we thought was gonna get brought in back into it, like her ex, and then the ex's friend.
Yeah.
But he was he in that?
He was
Yeah.
in the first episode, but
Yeah.
not in the second one.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm just like wondering if
maybe.
I'm wondering how, since we're only in episode 2, if it's gonna be standalone
Which
episodes.
is weird for a drama, because
Yeah.
normally dramas are very cohesive, and comedy is the one that's like
Like very
like very like different in each episode. That's interesting. Wow.
right. Because like I didn't. Besides the
That's like my brain is working. now.
Besides Kat's relationship with Adina, which we'll get into, what do you seem
I
really
have
excited to
so
talk
much
about
to
this.
say.
Becca, I want to hear it all, guys. Let's go
so
for it.
much to
Should we?
say.
Yes,
Go into
let's
it?
Jump into the Adina situation. Are you mad or happy or like no feelings?
I don't know. You know, in the beginning, I was like, I felt bad for Kat. I really felt bad when I saw that Adina had a girlfriend, and I was like, well, we think it's her girlfriend, right? I think.
Based on what happened.
I don't just kiss random friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
gonna go
okay.
with
I mean, unless she says hi that way to people.
Or
Yeah.
she could be in an open relationship.
Possibly.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she could possibly.
I mean,
be in a-
Freeform explores a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so I was really sad for Kat in the beginning, but then at the same time, like, I didn't really know how to feel about her, because she just kind of said, like, oh no, like, I'm not about that, like, previously. So it's confusing, I guess, but it was sad to see, like, right off the impact, especially because when you saw her reaction, it's like she was in a bit heartbroken about it, you know, like she's
Yeah.
already having trouble trying to figure this out, and then it was even more difficult to just kind of see that happen.
I feel like this season for Kat, at least, is gonna be just mainly. I don't think she's gonna get into a relationship until maybe the end, like
Yeah.
episode 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be her mainly like trying to figure out who she is and exploring.
I definitely think
Here she is.
exploring herself.
Yeah.
That's-
I think
think
a
we even-
male
oh,
figure.
God.
Oh, sorry. I
Go
think
ahead,
a
go ahead.
male person is gonna come in
I think
to play.
I
for
think
Kat.
that would happen.
Yeah.
Could happen because she's trying to convince herself right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That she's not. That she doesn't have feelings for Adina or
Yeah.
doesn't have
Yeah, but
feelings for
she
girls.
does. We saw
But
that.
she
last
totally
season.
does.
I was totally convinced in the beginning, and they were having that conversation. They were both eyeing each other down. They both felt it, and that's
They
why
love each other.
I don't
They're
think Adina's
so
gonna
cute.
go away just yet, though. I think we probably will
No,
have like a
she-
couple more episodes with
I
her,
love
and
Adina.
there's gonna be some sort of struggle. And I think you're right. She's convincing herself not to like her, but she does. It's inevitable.
Because she had that whole scene where she was like, I'm hetero, and then
And then,
before
like,
they
you
go
were
to the
trying
art
to convince.
gallery, if she was and didn't have feelings, when she saw Adina kiss the other like girl,
She wouldn't
it
have
would have
been
like, oh,
jealous.
okay, not a big deal. But
Right.
you know, because of the way she reacted, and even was like, oh, I came to tell you something, and like changed the conversation topic. I don't know if she'll like. This is kind of a prediction, but like, I don't know if she will actually end up with Adina, but I think Adina will be like that person, that character that helps her figure out who she is, so that later
Right.
on, whether she finds out
It,
she is straight or she finds out she's bi or
it could be a
Right.
both way
anything,
thing.
you know,
The bi.
that she'll Adina's just like the kind of person to help her out, but I don't think she's the end goal.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think you're right.
Me right now, she is.
And
I want Kat and Adina to be together.
I know they do seem like they have this undeniable spark that they just can't.
Yeah, the first episode.
I think they both don't really understand it, and I think that's why Adina, like, you know, she obviously could have contacted her sooner and like come to the office sooner, but she didn't, because I think she's trying to figure out whatever this, if it is her girlfriend or if it's not.
Yeah.
I think she's a little concerned herself.
Yeah.
I think she's waiting for Kat to figure out
How she's feeling.
what's going on, because I don't think
Right.
I don't think Adina wants to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, that would
Right.
make sense, because she's like the more mature.
Yeah, because she knows right now. So
Well, did you guys think that the art piece was kind of a sign of Adina secretly kind of pushing her a little
Saying-
bit? Because it said misunderstood. And so do you think that her art piece was kind of a push into a certain direction to kind of like make her question things
like understand
more?
yourself better,
Right.
Or this is your chance.
Like
to-
let's figure
Could be.
it out. Like it was just kind of a secret thing for her because she said because she wasn't aware that Adina had done that.
Yeah.
It could be.
That
So
actually makes
know.
sense as to why she would use it.
right,
Like,
right.
yeah. I like
I
it.
don't know. You guys didn't know, like it didn't stand out to you.
I didn't know. That didn't stand out to me as a
Now
surprise.
I
think
have
of
to
it,
rewatch and think about that, because I could totally see that being a thing.
Right. I just didn't. I was like maybe it
That comes
could be
back into
totally,
play. It could be
right.
something that they end up arguing about in a
Right.
future episode.
Totally.
Like, I'm not misunderstood, but yeah, you kind of are. You don't even understand yourself at this point.
Oh,
I
deep.
personally believe that Adina is going to be, or I hope that Adina is going to be a part of like the show for longer rather than for shorter. I feel like that's going to be possibly where the drama comes in.
I hope so too. I think
Yeah.
she's a good character.
I'm all
Yeah.
for the drama, so.
Leslie's like, when is it gonna happen?
I'm like ready every time. I'm like, love triangles? Y'all throwing this out?
I'm down for the love triangle thing. I want that to happen.
I can see it coming. I feel like it's gonna happen for Jane, and it's gonna be something that she has to like write about, and then it'll be like, I don't know,
Public.
open up, public. Because now that she didn't do anonymous, and that's like one of the most secret things that she had to keep quiet, then I don't think there's anything else that really you could hide at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Which even going back to Jane real quick, when she was saying before how like, oh, I work in this magazine that's like very sex positive, and like all these women are just like casually out there like living their best life, and she felt like so out of the loop.
Right.
I like that they brought her into the loop in her own category that was like, you can still be, which is great for like the audience watching it, of like, you don't have to be like out there being casual about it, and
Right.
not be sex positive, and not be like empowering yourself. Like you can still do it, just
Yeah, I
singly.
totally
I don't know, singly, yeah.
understand what you're saying, and I think this show does do a great job of kind of looking at one perspective by like 3 different point of views, and so it kind of helps us as audience members to really relate with each of these characters, and kind of it's like the magazine is really coming to life and it's speaking to us, and I can be like, oh, I felt that way before, or I have been in that situation before, and you're able to they kind of make it not like they make it lighthearted.
yeah, it's
really.
not just like, it's not one-sided, like,
Right.
oh, you have to be this type of woman and this type of personality. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you this big mixture, and you guys can decide like who you
Right.
can relate to. Yeah.
What I would like to see maybe in the next episode, based on Jane's article, is like feedback based on like the reader's feedback.
Yeah,
And like
that
her
would-
getting like notes from people.
right, and just kind of like for
Or
her to be able
any
to relate
episode,
to.
any topic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like
I think that'd be
them
good.
getting notes from like people reading the magazine.
Yeah.
So she can relate back to how she was the little girl reading the magazine.
Right. I know.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
There is so many. It's so crazy because like we're only 2 episodes in, and I'm like, oh well, this,
I'm
and
so
it's like there's
invested.
so much more that we have to wait for. I can just tell it's gonna get so much better because at the end of this episode, like I said before, I did not want it to end. I was so ready for more content. I was just thinking, is this over? It can't. I'm not ready.
Completely invested and obsessed, and got told to shut.
It's so good.
because of my reaction.
It's a very loud TV watch.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining to watch her though.
We need like a show of just watching Becca watch.
Oh
Just
my
me
gosh,
watching
you
the
should
bold
just
time.
live stream you
Live-
watching every TV show.
Yeah.
We should do like we'll do a Facebook Live next time.
Next week.
We'll do a Facebook Live
Let's
next week.
do it.
Have us watching the episode,
8 o'clock Pacific time.
Really quick before we jump into other things, I want to talk about how Kat is just like, her character is so interesting because she seems the one that's kind of the most outward of her feelings and emotions, and she always kind of is doing what she feels is best for each situation. And I just can't get over how she is so far the rock of a best friend. You know, she helped out Jane in that very uncomfortable situation.
You know, someone's
That
a true
was
friend.
something.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, were you guys uncomfortable watching that?
I was like, that's weird.
But at the same time, I was like, you go, girl. Like,
I was kind of like
amazing.
turning around, like, who else is watching right now?
Like, that is a very awkward
watching.
like scene if someone's like walking behind you, like, what are you watching?
Yeah, you're like, oh, sorry.
Right, and I did, you know, when she had that situation with Sutton about the job and how she was like, but that's not what you want, you know? I thought it was really great that she finally stuck up for her, because that's a true best friend. The best friends are the ones that can tell you no, the ones that can tell you, you know,
the truth.
They'll
the
tell
truth about everything.
Right, and they'll help you realize things you didn't know. Because if your friend would be like, oh yeah, just go for the money.
Yeah,
like,
it's fine.
Anybody can tell you that.
Yeah.
But she was there to stick up for her when she knew you're not going to be happy with this in a couple weeks. But like, some people might be afraid to tell her. Just like how Richard was just like, oh yeah, you want the money? Take the money. Anybody would. But then she knows in the long run she wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
This is why Richard is not good for her.
I know.
I agree. I don't like Richard. I don't think Richard's a good influence. I think Sutton needs more people who are going to be straight with her.
Right.
Like Kat and Jane in her life.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, she'll need it now that she's gonna go for fashion, because the money's not gonna be there. She's gonna be struggling even more to the max.
Well,
What?
all I have to say is she did kind of get that from the guy that she went to go have some nice champagne with at the end.
Yes.
Because he was
that's
like,
who
oh,
Leslie
you
was.
know, like about the dreams and like.
I'm still voting for him.
I'm voting for him as well.
Yeah, so that would
I think he's pretty cute.
And he also works for Scarlett, right?
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah,
the
so
one
that'd be
guy on their
great
staff,
because
yeah.
it could be the other. She could be dating two guys.
Maybe.
She's a date outside of work, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, maybe she should date outside of work.
Yeah.
But the love triangle would be great. Do you know how much drama
No,
that would
yeah,
be if they
yeah.
were
No, I
inside
still
work?
want it,
And
yeah.
like,
Yes, drama.
My brain's just thinking logically, huh?
Right. I just don't
like
see
what
it
to
happening
do.
with them, guys. I don't see a spark at all. I totally like saw platonic friends. Is anybody in the chat? Is anybody in there that has any opinions
about them?
or, yeah, I just want to know, because I'm like, maybe I just totally missed that, because I feel like, I don't know, I see, like, obviously, and I'll get into it in prediction, but I like see Richard trying to like propose or something. Like, I see him sticking for the long run. I'm not kidding.
I don't see.
No.
You
by yourself.
Okay. If Richard proposes, I think she's gonna say no.
I think so too. I don't think she would.
But
say
I could see him proposing.
Right, I
could see him proposing and her saying no.
I feel like she's gonna put her career first.
Yeah.
Yeah, her saying no. I want to put my career
At this point,
first.
yeah. If she had taken the ad sales job and then he proposed,
Right.
she's comfortable. She's making them G's. You know, she's good. But
She's making them.
but at the point where she's gonna be a struggling artist or fashion creative, like we all do this. You know, we all
Right.
know the
Yeah.
struggle, like.
I know.
Yeah,
The
you know,
struggle
we know.
is real,
The show
everybody.
is really relatable now.
The
But
show's good.
like that, I feel like that's gonna cause her to just be like,
Yeah.
nah, dude. Like, I feel like she might even. I don't want this because I won't get my drama. But I could even see her like kind of give up guys completely and
just, like,
focus
focus.
For the
on
time
herself.
being,
Yeah.
yes.
For the
Yeah.
time being,
And maybe meet someone naturally.
Naturally,
we'll see.
But she did it
Not in the
naturally.
workplace. Not in the workplace.
outside of the
Yeah.
walls of Scarlet Magazine.
Yeah.
That's what we're rooting for.
Yeah, because like it's not realistic for everyone to date someone in the walls of
No,
Scarlet Magazine.
that is
There's
very
some
true,
HR
Becca. I'm
issues,
glad you
yeah.
brought that up, because it is very true. That's the one thing I think I said about Ryan and Jane. Because I'm like, you wouldn't just, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong here. You wouldn't just walk up to someone you work with, kiss them, and walk away and have no anxiety.
Okay, but this is
But he
That
works
was
in the same
cute.
building, but not the same magazine.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That
But
was
still, you have to see
something.
them every day.
I know.
But I mean, I guess they were flirting.
They were definitely
not like
flirting
he
in the
didn't want it.
elevator.
They were doing the eyes, like
Yeah.
what you used to do in junior high. And
you're
you
like-
look at your crush, you're like, oh, he saw me. And you go turn away.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens now. You can like look at someone and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, they totally saw me, so cute." No, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe she should definitely buy someone. I don't know, Sutton. And the whole Richard thing, I think I'm just going back and forth. Like, but there is something that's fishy about him that I can't tell yet. But this episode, I did see
I
him
have no
feeling like
trust for him.
he surprisingly seems like he actually cares about her.
Yeah.
There's some like I don't know. I just
Or
felt like
he just wants to
is a
please
player.
himself.
He's a
you
player.
know?
Oh yeah.
So
He's hot, but he's
like,
a player.
Yeah, baby, you good. I believe in you. So
Yeah.
if I believe in you, you're gonna sleep
was-
with me.
He was a little too good at that Christian Grey scene for
oh,
my
that was
taste.
creepy. I was like,
He was
don't
a
do that.
little
No.
too good at that.
It's like we could not have that.
I was like,
reference, please. I'd be very fine with that.
no,
Yeah.
back away, son, and run.
Yeah.
Get out there, girl.
Run.
It's
Yeah.
clear. It's clear. It's glass. Just break through. Okay. Too far.
Kick the glass.
Well, they talked about letting your freak out, and they definitely did. And I just want to say that the boss of like their boss is so intriguing
Awesome.
and so cool, and it's like I feel like she helps me with my life almost just
Yeah.
listening to her advice. It's just she kind of sits there and she's
like,
able to give
yes.
she says the perfect things at the right time. I don't know,
I just want to like sit and talk to her for
Right.
for real.
like give me insight on my
is-
life.
Yeah, like can she not be fictional?
Right. I mean, clearly she's not. If this is, like
If this is based off, yeah,
Right.
that-
Is it loosely based or is it?
Or is
it's
it like
based
all
off
the
of
way
her
based?
experiences.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean loosely based, but
Yeah.
it's she said like I think some of the storylines are based off of certain like
Okay, well,
activities
I want to
maybe.
meet her.
Yeah. I
The
mean
real one- the
you
real
should come
person.
in if you're watching this. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'm loving this episode. I feel like we still have so much more to learn about all these relationships and all the couples. Obviously, the friendship between Jane, Kat, and Sutton is so much fun to watch, and they have great chemistry together. But I'm just really excited to see them grow and kind of like see where they all end up in terms of relationships and whatnot.
I'm impressed with the show because I don't think a show has drawn me in this much within its first 2 episodes.
Oh, I totally
since the
agree.
show.
I feel like there's so many shows that when I talk to people or friends about it, I'm like, okay, watch the first 3 or 4 and you'll be hooked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this one, after this episode, I'm like, that ending, I was just like, wait, this can't be over yet.
Well, and I was yelling at the TV out there. I was like,
She really was.
It gives you so much empowerment, you just feel like you can conquer anything after this. Especially
yes.
after Jane was able to openly open herself up to the world in that
was
article.
so great.
I mean,
like, even though I can like I predicted she would do that while
Yeah.
watching the episode.
did, yeah.
I was like, she's gonna write her name at the end. But like, even the stuff that's easily predictable in this show is like, yes.
yeah, it's good.
you
It's still
clap.
rewarding afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice that you don't really have to figure it out. Like you kind of already know what's going to happen. It's really nice to see it happen.
Yes.
Like for
Right.
myself, I was like, okay, I have a feeling that Sutton is not going to take a job, and I was like, I
Yeah,
really
she's
hope
not.
that she
wants to
doesn't
stay
take
around
the
her
job.
friends.
Yeah. So when I saw that she was buying the champagne, I was like, oh girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, my first thought when I saw that was like, okay, she's gonna be told to like the next episode that she didn't get the job and she spent her $100.
Oh yeah, I was
worst
thinking that
thing.
too.
I was like, oh my gosh.
But she
she's
didn't
gonna-
care.
Yeah. And I was like, and then she's going to be like, oh, it's okay. Like, this is maybe a sign.
Yeah.
And then when she said, like, oh, I'm not taking the job, I'm like, that is such a good idea.
A good
like,
move.
Good job. Like, Sutton.
Would you guys do that? If it
See-
was like money versus something
Friends?
you not friends, but like another career path that wasn't very secure.
Yes.
I feel like because I mean,
It's like something you enjoy. You
Right.
have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like at the end of the day, like it's gonna just take that route of getting your dreams is just a longer journey, and you'll eventually get to that money route. It's just the easy route is to take the money, And so I personally, I mean, I feel like we all have taken like hard routes, you know what I mean? So eventually, hopefully, it'll pay off one day.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just, I mean, I probably wouldn't have taken the money.
You also have to take the route that surrounds you with good people.
Right, and surrounds you with happiness and good times, because if she were to take this job, you know, she clearly is someone that is not going to be settled with just being a sales ad person, you know?
Yeah.
An ad salesperson, I'm sorry. And so I think that her character needs that chase. She needs to be able to chase that dream, or else she's always going to resent herself for not choosing her dreams over that.
And another of the things that I was gonna say in regards towards that is the fact that she's already been an assistant. I think she said for like 4 years, either it's like
3 years,
three or 4 years, and it's like she already knows what it's like to do a job that she doesn't really like, but the only reason why she feels comfortable is because she's around all her friends all the time, you know? And she realizes, like, she probably realized, like, okay, if I go to a different department, I'm going to be on a different floor, still doing something that I don't like, and then now I'm going to be away from my friends. So...
And not have them to go to when I need them.
And not take 2-hour lunches.
Yeah.
And
those 2-hour lunches, though.
Right, seriously. Well, and she even said, like, her spending that money, like, when she had talked to Richard about it, was basically her relieving herself of that she's never going home. That was her sign of saying, all right, I've sold this money, I'm not going home, I'm sticking it out, I'm chasing the dream, I'm going to continue to do it. So I thought that was a cool symbol that they did there, where they were able to sell it. And she still celebrated, because it is all about chasing your dreams.
It is. No, it's true.
It's
I
all
agree,
about being bold, and that was a really bold move.
Well, I would totally do what she did. I just wanted to know what y'all thought.
I liked how the dream thing was mentioned multiple times throughout this episode. Like, you gotta have a dream. And
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this show is so much fun to watch, is because it's realistic. Everybody like is chasing some sort of dream, no matter what it may be. Some people obviously pick the more logical route, which they talked about a couple times. And it's just fun because at the end of the day, all these 3 girls are really doing it, and they're continuing to chase it. So it's just fun and rewarding to watch.
Yeah. Personally, I love shows like that, and more, and like movies like Coco Before Chanel and like Walt Before Mickey, because it pretty much shows you all the work that you actually had to do to get there. Like a lot of people think like, oh, I'm talented, so I'm gonna go ahead and like do this, because we know that Sutton is good at fashion. Like, she's not having a hard time with fashion, and she knows she's good, but it's kind of like going back towards like Michael Jordan's 4 a.m. speech, like talking about how you had to put in the time to like do the stuff. Like, you might be good and you might think you're good, but there's always room for improvement, you know? And like, it's so good that like the show kind of showing the fact that like, okay, she started as an assistant, which is probably where like a lot of people that are watching the show are at. Like,
and they're like, why am I an assistant?
Yeah, and like some of them probably might be in the first year of being an assistant, and then you realize that this girl has been an assistant for like almost like 3 years.
So it's relatable.
And it's like relatable, and it's like, okay, well, she's doing something, and she's mentioning her age, but then she's like, okay, like I'm
it's
still
all right.
going, yeah, it's okay. Like, there's no expectation for you to be doing anything at a specific time, as long as you're always working towards like your goal, and just like so it's really nice to kind of see her go through that and do that, you know, and like, I don't know, it's just it's really nice. I really liked it.
Yeah, I feel like
well, clearly we are all fans of the show.
I feel like these girls are the characters are good role models for younger teens watching the show. If you're younger than like 15, maybe don't watch the show.
Yeah, definitely not. Especially after this week's episode, I was like, I hope no one young was watching it.
Maybe if you're watching it at like 13, 14, watch it with your parents.
Watch it with your mom.
That might even be more.
Not your dad.
You guys can have some great conversations.
No, I mean, it is really fun, and I think seeing scenes where they're like watching like porn with their best friends, it's almost comical, because I mean I don't think I've ever been in a situation like that, so you're wondering, are there people out there doing that? Like, are there people that have done this before? But that's why I think it adds like comic relief, because it's things that even if you haven't experienced it, then it's just funny, because you're thinking, wait, this is kind of this is crazy. This is crazy. But I don't know, do you guys have any other thoughts before we get into some predictions, or should we just do it?
I think we should just get
into some predictions. Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
predictions. Alrighty, Becca, you want to start?
I think Okay, I refuse to give up my Adina and Kat hope.
Okay.
I think they're gonna end up together at some point. Do I think it's gonna be next week? Probably not. But I'll be happy if it's next week. I think it'll be by the episode 10-ish. And I also like Sutton with the guy at the bar.
Yes, definitely.
I like him a lot.
Oh wait, no, I was thinking. Sorry, no,
like,
I'm not. Like, I'm against that. Sorry, I was thinking Ryan and Jane.
Yeah, it was like we convinced her.
Yeah, no, sorry.
I'm thinking Ryan and Jane too.
Yeah. Okay.
And and other prediction, I'm gonna keep getting inspired by the show and keep screaming yes while watching the show and laughing and all this stuff.
Becca's catchphrase is yes.
Yes.
All right, Leslie.
Yes.
What are your
Okay,
predictions?
so the male writer, his name is Ryan.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't screw that up. Ryan and Jane. Because y'all know I love the drama. I feel like he's gonna turn out to be a real douchey guy. Because even though we saw him look at the phone and smile and be like, yeah, she wrote that, it's also the content of the article that I feel like he's gonna kind of take advantage of it.
Interesting.
I feel like he could as well.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I also think, like, prediction, I think that's probably where we're going to be seeing our love triangle, because it says that the article talks about him having a girlfriend, and she just went up and kissed him, like,
I forgot about that part.
So
Yeah.
she, like, I don't know, I think that's
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Maybe we'll get multiple love triangles, and then we'll get
That's all I want, guys.
Right.
She's gonna get in trouble.
Seriously. So that was your prediction?
Yeah, that was our
Okay.
prediction, that, like, Ryan was gonna have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that, that's a good one, because, yeah, you're right. I think they did say that. But I think that Jane is going to start kind of, like, they're still going to flirt, but she's going to be, like, hard to get or whatever, and then they're going to possibly start, I don't know, having a fling, and then her ex is going to come back to the picture, because I don't think he's done yet.
Yes.
Yeah, because she needs some sort of struggle.
I don't think he's done yet
I think
either.
she does have an innocence about her that I don't know if she's going to like Ryan. Like, I don't know if she'll essentially, like, I think she'll like the chase or whatever, but I don't think she essentially will, like, find, I don't know, him
I see. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and then I think, oh, sorry, Becca, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, I just really liked different, like, Jane's subject, but, like, she does seem like she's on a whole different, like, innocent level than the rest of the girls. I liked also how she's kind of afraid of disappointing people.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Definitely.
She was less afraid when she heard her name.
She was less afraid of what people would think about her. Kind of,
Yeah.
which was
Which goes
really
along with the
interesting.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Which is a huge growing stage.
I think, jumping off of what you said, I think probably her boyfriend is going to read the article, and then that's probably when he'll reach back to her.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. That's a good idea. Yeah, and then I think Sutton and Richard, I'm going to say they're going to stick it out, and I think that Richard is going to, like, not now, maybe towards the end of the season, because he's definitely going to stick around. We're not going to see him go away.
Yeah.
I think he's going to either complete opposite, like, they're going to get, like, he's going to try to get engaged with her or whatever, like, propose or whatever. I mean, they still need, this is only episode 2, I'm going a little too far. Or it'll be complete opposite, and someone new comes into the office, and he has a new fling. And then there's going to be, there's your drama, Leslie. That would be your drama.
I like that one. Yes, I want to see a new girl.
Those are two very opposite sides of the spectrum. We'll see what happens. But I guess with that being said, we'll just have to continue to wait, Becca.
I think your love triangle is going to come when Kat finds out who she's interested in.
Oh, right.
You know?
What if she decides to, like, she's, like, in a love triangle with, like, a guy and a girl?
That's
and then
what
she's
I'm
like,
thinking.
what I'm gonna choose?
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Interesting. So many juicy, fun things to come. We cannot wait for the rest of the season, as we probably will say after every episode, because this show rocks.
It's so good.
It is so good. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Becca, where can they find you on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
And you can find me, Leslie Ambriz, on Twitter and Instagram at In Less Than No Time.
And you can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K-B-E Travels.
And hey guys, it's Allie Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Allie Nasta and on Instagram at Ellie Girl. And again, please make sure to follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms, and make sure you go to iTunes to download the podcast. And make sure you comment below and tweet at us, because we want to talk to you about this episode and the bold type for always. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.